Hello and welcome to this tutorial done by me. It's probably the first one I've done. I've done some little things before, but not really. It's going to be about making something like this. This is a sort of wall-mounted cable guard, it says on there. So I'm doing a science fiction cyberpunk type scene at the moment. Some props like this, so we'll just cut straight to it. I'm going to be mostly eyeballing it, but I've got this little reference on my second monitor to begin with. So away we go. Okay, so in Blender we've got the default cube. Now I just want to delete that default cube and introduce another one. And the reason I want to do that is I want this little dialogue there. Now I want it to come down to about, I'm going to say that thing's about 25 centimeters tall, and well-ish, probably a bit taller than that. So now that we've got a 25 centimeter cube, we'll get rid of this dialogue, and I'm going to add my screencast keys on. So we'll just make those a bit bigger for you, so you can see what's going on, and let's get like a nice contrasty color. Okay. Bright green. Okay, so maybe a little bit smaller actually. Let's take it down to 28. Yeah, that's about good. Okay, so now let us see. We'll open this dialog. We'll get the item. So it's 25 centimeters tall. Let's actually make it 30 tall. Let's make it 8 on the y-axis, no, 8 on the x-axis. And that's about, now I can sort of freestyle. So, just to make that a little bit taller, I'm going to go Alt-S on, Alt-S on that face. And there we go. And I'm going to go into edge mode, and I'm going to select these 4 edges, and I'm going to bevel them. About so. Now I'm going to just, so I've got, a nice curve on there. I'm not going to be worrying too much about topology, because this is going to be hard surface modeling, and we will deal with any shading errors as they arise. So we can play with this bevel on the bevel settings. Okay, so segment 6, profile, maybe a little bit more. Perhaps add another. No, we'll bring it back down so this default, close enough to the default. 0.5. And go width. Take a look at depth. No, percent. No, we're going to go, I think, width. Okay. So, what we will do is we're going to inset this a bit. Not too much, and I'm going to go Alt and E and extrude the faces. Just going to make that go smaller, and that's about right. To be honest, no, I think I'm going to go set it a little bit further, and always make sure your scale and everything's applied. We're going to go shape smooth. Now that looks horrible. So a little trick, auto smooth, and that's all good. Now I'm going to add a bevel modifier to this, so that we can export both the low and the high polys later. Now with that bevel modifier, we should turn it to angle, and we should definitely pull the bevel in holding the shift key, so we can get a little bit more precision over it. Okay, and then we're going to add some more segments. Maybe I seem to find odd numbers work better on the bevel modifier. We'll go maybe not depth width on that one, offset. Okay, and now I actually want to bring that back to 0.01, I think, or 0.015, 0.02, 0.2, 0.15, excuse me. There we go. All right, so we've got that done. Now, if we look at our object, on the right-hand side, we have this little padlock holder, and on the left-hand side, we have these hinges, and then we've got this cable coming out here, and on the front, we have these details. So we'll work on those one by one. I think we'll start with the hinges. Okay, so I'm just going to put that back off screen, and we'll get onto that right now. Okay, so let us start with the padlock things. Let's start with the hinges actually. Okay, so we're just going to quickly go into edit mode with this. Press number 2 for edge mode, and make sure we've got this edge selected in X-ray mode. Then we're going to go Shift and S, and we're going to go cursor to selected. So that's nice there in the center there. We're going to go Alt Z out of X-ray mode, and we're going to add another cube. Okay, so that's the size of the cube that we originally want, but we want that to be more like 4 centimeters, which looks about right there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a mirror modifier, and we're going to mirror that on the Z axis. Okay, so we're going to go G and Z. Now let's just scale this cube down a bit. And there's GX, G and Y. Okay, we can have a look now, we can scale it down a bit more. And G and Shift Z just to bring it in there. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of overlapping geometry, but we'll try and get as close as possible. And let's just bring the clipping to see that we're unable to view the objects at close angles or close distances, so it's at 10 centimeters at the moment. Let's bring it down to 0.1, and that should 0.05 maybe. We might need to get up close and personal. Let's just press N to get rid of the toolbox menu or whatever you call it, and let's just once again grab this guy and press Alt and S, pull it out a bit. Okay, and let's add a loop cut in the middle there, and back into face mode and just extrude the normals out there. Okay, so we've got these guys here. Now what we should do is, maybe I was thinking to make this a little bit more complicated, but we'll just Y this, and pull this in Y. No, actually, let's go back. Let's go like that. Let's get this guy out here. Extrude along the normals. Now let's extrude these along the normals. And let's extrude all of this along the normals like that. And I'm just going to go into the viewport shading, and I'm going to reduce the shadows, change this to both, and get a little bit more ambient occlusion. Yeah, just to make that nice and pretty. Okay, so what we want to do is, actually let's just add a bevel modifier to this quickly. So I've got a feeling, we'll just probably pull this out. Get the whole cheek, right? Okay. So we've got these up here. I'm going to choose these two faces. I'm going to inset them by 0.15. Actually, yeah. And let's just, I've got my quick favorites menu, and I've got bridge edge loops set up in there, so I can just easily bridge edge loops. And we've got those two holes there. So let us select this top edge ring and this top edge ring. Now what we will do is we will Shift S, cursor to selected, so it's right in the middle there, and then we're going to add a cylinder. Okay, now let's bring the vertices down to something like 8. Hang on, let's just delete that cylinder. This is what I want to go back quite a few steps. It's not what I wanted to do, so I only want to extrude these here. And I'll bring this one out here. Bring that out a little bit further. Now I just want to extrude these guys here. Okay, now we'll go back to what we were doing before. Bridge edge loops. Hold on. Inset 0.15. Let's just control up. Okay, so once again, back to these rings, and we will cursor to selected. Okay, so we've got this little guy here, and let's add the cylinder now. Okay, so we've got this massive cylinder, but it's got 8 rings. We'll make the radius like 2 centimeters. And we'll make it 8. We'll put it down there. Still way too big, so we're wanting to bring that radius down to there. Even smaller. Okay, 2, 4. Looks about right. Yeah, and we can isolate that by pressing the slash key. If you didn't know that, that's now you do. Now let's just grab these two and Alt and S. And that looks about right. However, let's just add the top and bottom. Let's add 2 lid groups, S, Z. And about there. And that's number 3. And let's extrude the faces of them. Okay. Now that looks about right. Now I do want to actually separate that from the selection, because we want this one to shade smooth on that one, and auto smooth maybe. Auto smooth. No, not auto smooth. We'll just make sure that these we're going to Control F face menu and shade flats. So the middle is shade smooth and the top is shade flats. And we'll go out of isolation mode. Speaking of isolation, how's everybody's isolation going? Are you using it to be creative, or are you just watching Netflix or playing video games? Let me know in the comments what you're doing for isolation. Any great tutorials or link us to any art that you've made, that would be wonderful to see. Okay, so we've got that hinge looking about right. Apart from this, wants to have a better bevel modifier. And we want to shade smooth, and we want to go to auto smooth, which we already have. And let's add some, let's go into angle mode. And look, there's going to be some errors, but this is not an object we're going to be looking up close, and we may need to fix them later. Add 3 segments, and we will make the offsets 0.05, and maybe go 5 segments. Remember, this is all going to be in the high quality. Okay, just going to add a light and shade mode. We're just going to have a little peek at what this is actually going to look like being lit. Yeah, I do believe it's starting to look kind of cool. And we've got that shade smooth. Okay, I think I'm going to add a weighted normal to that. Let's see what that looks like off and on. Definitely looks a bit better on. Okay, so what shall we approach next? So I think we're going to have a look at this thing on the side. Okay. Okay, so we're going to attack the side. And we've got that little locking mechanism thing to the right. So it's going to bring back up the picture on my second monitor, and we will have a nosy at that. Okay, so I think what we'll do is the same as what we did on the other side. We'll go into X-ray mode and we'll select this edge, and we'll go, cursor to selected, and we will add a circle, which is going to have 16 vertices, not 32, and it's going to have a radius of 4 centimeters. That's a good place to start. And let's just, while we're still in, let's just remove that selection. Okay, so now that we've got that separated, we will rotate it on the y-axis 90 degrees, and we will also bring the origin to the geometry, because that's got a bit middled up there. Okay, so we've got that there. It's a little bit big. We'll go out of X-ray mode and we'll just G. That's on the local axis. For some reason, we'll change it to global. And we'll go G, X, no, Y. Actually, what I am going to do, I'm actually going to introduce a circle there with the 32 vertices. I've got more geometry on that, so it looks decent. And we'll rotate that on the y-axis 90 degrees. And we'll scale it down. Okay. We're going to look at this in the side view or the front view in this case. With G, Y. And let's go to X-ray mode, edit mode, vertices mode, and let's just press W until we get the right selection mode. Let's just get rid of these verts here. And we are going to delete these vertices. And let's just extrude that on the x-axis. Okay, select all, G, Y, just ever so slightly, like that. And let's, number 2, select these 2 edges, make a face, and then on the same again, select these 2 edge loops, make a face, inset, not too much bridge edge loops. Okay, go out of that mode and let's just make sure we've got backface culling on, because sometimes when you extrude things, the normals get a bit messed up. Now let's shape that smooth and auto smooth, and let's add a bevel modifier. Let's make sure we've got all of our scale and rotation applied, and change the bevel modifier to angle, and let's just add 3 segments on there. Now we do have a little bit of funny shading, but we can perhaps add a weighted normal to that. Okay, now what I do want to do is just get rid of all of that. Go back to where we were. Now I do want to set it a little bit more than what I had. Now I don't know why that's actually actually, yeah, let's bring it to that. What we actually want to do is we want to get the knife tool out. Now I did say I wasn't going to worry too much about topology, but we're going to go to verts mode. What we're going to do is we're going to get the knife tool out. We're going to go from this vert down to about here. We're going to press enter. We're going to go from this vert up to about here. Oh, it's not really letting me. Let's select the vert here. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so we want actually this one and this one. We want to go to, I've got them set up in the quick menu, but we go Alt and M at center. Alt and M at center. Now I've got them set up here. At center. So we've got those set up there. We'll do the same at the top. We'll just select all of these. We go center. Okay. So now we've got these 2 triangles up here, but really we just want to get rid of this one. So we can go X, dissolve edges, X, dissolve edges, and we've got to do the same on the other side. So we like that. Okay. No, we go into that mode. So really what we want to do is we want to get the knife tool. We just want to really do that. So as close as we can to that. Okay, so and then we select all these at center. Select all of these at center. Then we can easily just dissolve these 2 edges. Okay, so we've got that. Looks a little bit nicer now. Hopefully that means that we can scale this a bit further in. It does. But we want to restrict the excess. Restrict the x-axis, yeah. Okay. And I think we will just bridge the inch loops there. Okay, so now we can shape smooth, add the auto smooth, add the bevel modifier, and look, we're getting a much nicer bevel there now than we were before. Still not perfect, still kind of ugly, but there we go, that's how it goes. We're going to make that 0.15, 3, got auto smooth on, we're going to change that to angle, and we're going to add a weighted normal. Okay, lovely. That took a bit longer than I expected. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go directly into edit mode of this guy. We're going to duplicate the whole thing, Shift D, and we're going to move it on the X-axis to about there. Going to grab his face and we're going to extrude along the normals. And let's just offset the whole, let's just get him right up against the wall there. Yeah. That's not a shading issue, it's actually just a shadow. Let's just offset that on the Z-axis slightly so we can see what's going on. Okay. Cool. It's starting to look like our thingo. Now we've got these on the sides. Is there anything else? I can see something kind of up on the right there, but we might just leave that out and let's focus on the detailing on the face. Okay. So, that's no good. What have I done there? Okay. Alright. So what have we got? We've got two squares. So once again, let's just go to edit mode with this guy. Cursor to selected. Go out of edit mode and add a cube. Okay, so let's add the mirror modifier first and foremost, and on the Z axis. Into edit mode, GZ, okay. Now let's just isolate this guy and go around the back and let's just delete that face. Go out of isolate mode, pull him all the way out there, into edit mode, and now let's select the whole thing over. Now do notice that it comes up over the top slightly, so let's just GZ and let's ever so slightly over the top. Actually, let's not make it go over the top, and okay, so excuse me, I don't have a coronavirus. I think I do have a sniffly cold from sitting in a dark room all day. Now, next things next. Let's inset this guy. And then let's extrude this guy. Now let's just have a play around and add a Bevel Modifier and see what that does. I've got a feeling that that might not be the trick, but let's try it anyway. Actually, maybe. So we've got that on. Let's just toggle the stack. I don't know what the name of this, I don't know what the name of this add-on is. I'll try and find out and let you guys know. It's a good one. It allows you to manipulate stack a little bit more. Okay, back to it. Where were we? Okay, so we're going to have a look at this guy here. We're going to look at the Bevel Modifier. And let's change it to angle, width, depth, segments. Add like quite a few segments there. Let's add a weighted normal. Shape smooth. So look at it in this word. Okay. Right, actually, no, that's pretty good. Okay. Alrighty. We're not too far off being finished. So, a few things. Let's add the cable. No, let's continue with this. So there was some writing on the face of that. that said cable guard. So let's add something here. So we'll just select the space and we'll go selection to cursor to selected. We'll go add some text. There we go. And we'll go rotate, I think Y90. No, rotate Z90. Then rotate Y90, and we will scale it all the way down. And yes, G, Y, X. Scale right down. Now the origin is all the way over there. That's why it's behaving strangely. Okay. So their brand was called Cable Guard. I'm going to go to edit mode and I'm going to call my one Wire Shield. I'm going to scale it down again. And let's just go into the object data properties, or the text data properties even, and let's go to font. And let's find, that's all Windows fonts. Now I've got my own fonts folder. I believe I do anyway. So can't remember what any of these look like, so I will choose Vogue. Okay. That will do. Now we'll go G, everything except for Y. G, everything except for X. Okay, yep, there we go. Get that kind of in the middle. Now this will be something that will just only get baked in on the normals. So I don't know whether to do it as a Boolean or as jumping out. But what we need to do is we need to mesh from curve meta surface text. So I believe you do that in the object down here and you go to convert to, but I have it just set up in my quick properties because I convert a lot of curves and things. And it makes some crappy geometry, but we won't worry about that too much. Let's just extrude it out. And as long as we've got shade smooth and auto smooth, it's gonna look alright. We might even be able to, no, we're not gonna bother beveling that. We go GX. Actually, what we might try, something that I don't try often, just controls. I think let's go to F3 menu. No, I can't remember how to do it. Never mind. We'll see what that looks like sticking out. Now that looks okay, doesn't it? Wire shield instead of cable guard. It's my own brand. I think that looks fine, but we'll have a look at what happens if we give it a Boolean as well. No, definitely not. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. And finally, we're going to get this cable on the model. Let's just delete that light. Okay. So let's go add a mesh cylinder and let's make it a bit fatter. Let's give it 16 vertices. And even do, yeah, 16 will do. And let's make the radius a bit fatter. 2.7 centimeters. depth, I don't know, 2.5. Now let's just shader smooth, auto smooth, and let's do some insets, extrude, inset, extrude. Inset, extrude. Okay. Now in the same place we're going to add let's just shade smooth, add a bevel modifier, angle 0.1, 3 segments. Let's make it 5 segments. Okay. Now let's go add a curve. Rotate on the y-axis 90 degrees. No, rotate on the y-axis 90 degrees. Scale it right down. Go into that mode, side mode. Rotate this guy minus 45. No. Rotate this guy 45 degrees. Let's go into the object data properties and we'll reduce this resolution down to about 8 because we don't need all of those segments. But we'll go to geometry and that's got a resolution of 4 and we'll go to bevel. And let's scale that down more. Make sure we apply all. Okay, let's get out of easy. Okay, so what we can do now is we can just pull this out a bit, leave that one flat there, we'll just streak this out, streak this out, streak this out. Okay, so there you have it. We have our wire shield. Now, that's the end of the modeling aspects. I will UV this in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. This is Pete from Take Refuge TV, and tell me what you think. I appreciate any feedback. This is the first time doing this. And that's about it. Actually, just before I go, let's just parent everything to everything. So we've got this guy, he can be our main guy, so we'll parent Control P. So you select the object that you want to parent, and then you select the main object, and then you Control P. And I just go object keep transform. So now that when we move this one, and then we can parent this to this. You can parent this to this. We can parent this to this. We can parent this to this. We can parent this to this. And what I also want to do, just before we go, is just actually do this on the y-axis, scale it down, F on Z, and just choose. We just got another little item, maybe another hole for another cable, but this one's going to be empty. Okay, and just apply the scale, make sure. And finally, just parent this to this. Yeah, that's okay. And don't forget to save keys. So, just going to call this cable box. Okay, so that should all be moving around properly. Okay, so there you have it. We've made a wire shield I mean, we could have made one that's openable, but this is just going to be a static asset, background asset on the walls of my project, so it does not need to be any more complicated than that. Although we will be texturing this and UVing it. Let me know what you thought of the tutorial, or I guess it's more of a less of a tutorial and more of a workflow exposure. Anyway, have a lovely day.